Welcome to the FMCG podcast. Make sure you're following us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us out. Enjoy the show. Hi, my name's Rich and we're Consumer Hub, and we focus on helping consumer goods businesses and FMCG companies finding the right talent. And this is the FMCG podcast where we speak with the leaders of today and hear their insights into their brands, their category expertise and also their careers. Today we've got Zara Godfrey on the show from Pupkip, and we're really excited to hear all about Zara's story, the story of Pupkip, and get more into the brand and the mission and everything that's going on there. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Zara. It's great to have you, and really excited to get into the story today with you.
Great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
So, Zara, just for anyone that's not familiar with your sort of story or Pupkip's, could you just give us a quick overview of kind of, I guess, almost just like a super top line CV for yourself, and then I don't know how you end up, doing what you're doing at Pupkip. It'd be great for everyone just to kind of get a bit of background, information on it.
Yeah, of course. Top line, came out of uni, did psychology, had no clue what to do, and found myself getting into marketing. So I ended up agency side for a few years, which I loved. But what I really learned was how much I loved brands and how much I wanted to work on brand side and really get into the nitty gritty of everything from product development, marketing, P&Ls, etc. My first brand side role was at McDonald's, where I actually looked after Happy Meals and how to get kids to eat more fruit within the Happy Meal.
Nice.
And then I moved on to Coke, where I looked after their hydration brands, so Oasis, Smart Water, and then later Schweppes. But my mother always used to make me chocolate dipped frozen bananas when I was little, and I always ate them. Very ahead of the curve, right? And for me, that was my ice cream, that was my treat. And I always talked about launching a frozen banana brand, and everyone, thought I was crazy. So I decided to investigate it, and I took some frozen bananas to a friend's yoga class, and everybody loved them. And I was like, I think I'm onto something, and maybe there's an opportunity here. So this was back in 2017, so took a while to kick it off the ground, but did a lot of research, did a lot of consumer understanding, when consumers would eat it, why they would eat it, and fast forward, found a manufacturer, 225 manufacturers later, and we launched Pupkip back in 2023.
That's great, really exciting.
I'm not sure how quick that was.
No, that's perfect. That's brilliant, super interesting. So it's like often a bit of a trend in some of the guests that we've had on the show that you've done the hard grind to begin with, getting your steps in with some big names, learning the craft of brand or commercial.
Yeah.
Obviously you mentioned fruit there at McDonald's. That's really interesting, because I remember when all the fruit came into Happy Meals, thinking that's quite good for our kids, because we had our first at the time, and now it's pretty standard, isn't it? You don't even question, do you? But I remember it was like a really kind of unique sort of felt like a pivotal moment for them. What are some of the other campaigns that you've been involved with where you felt, that's quite seminal, that feels like we're making a change? Because I'm always interested to understand, some of the kind of just a little set pieces that have maybe fed into how you've then had success later on in what you're doing.
Yeah, so I think despite the fact I've obviously worked for some big corporates, so McDonald's and Coke, who I have to say I actually loved working for, I've always seemed to work on more of the healthier side. So as mentioned, getting kids to eat more fruit. I also worked on new innovative products within Happy Meals, how to make kids basically eat better. And then when I was at Coke, very much working on hydration and how do we help people drink more water? How do we cut sugar out of Oasis? Things like that. So I learned a lot along the way, and I don't think I would have got here had I not had the background I did.
Well, tell us a bit about Pupkip then. So obviously you've given us a bit of a teaser into the product. So frozen fruit covered in something yummy. Definitely get behind that. What else is the brand all about? What else is the mission, and what are some of the kind of key things that you want people to know about the brand and the products? Yeah,
so Pupkip is the UK's first indulgent frozen fruit brand. And we're really on a mission to transform the ice cream category with indulgent frozen fruit. We like to call it nature's alternative to ice cream. We know that consumers are looking to be much more health conscious, to make better choices and to feel good about treating themselves. So we've combined real fruit with chocolate, providing that permissible indulgence. We have a range of chocolate dipped frozen bananas, and for those who can't imagine what I'm talking about, imagine half a banana dipped in 3 different chocolate coatings. So we've got a milk chocolate, dark chocolate, which is vegan, and a white chocolate, on a stick, stuck in the freezer. I've got some boxes here of our dark and also our white, so people can kind of understand what I'm talking about. And yeah, so we launched these back in January 2023, and we're really on a mission to help consumers eat more fruit in fun, innovative and playful ways. We know that 9 out of 10 consumers struggle to get enough fruit into their diet. And let's be honest, when you need an afternoon pick-me-up, sometimes a slice of fruit doesn't quite cut it. So we believe we're bridging that gap between health and indulgence, and allowing people to enjoy snacking again and feel good about their choices.
Brilliant. That's really interesting. So tell us a bit about the product development cycle. So you obviously went through, was it 200 manufacturers you looked into? I mean, that sounds like a hard grind.
It was crazy. Contacted 225 manufacturers. Everyone thought I was mental. Said it wasn't possible. Said the product didn't exist. And finally found a manufacturer out in Ecuador. Nice. Who could help us. So we worked really closely with them, and we actually buy bananas which are rejected from export. So we buy wonky bananas. Wonky, wrong shape, wrong size. Over 1 billion perfectly delicious bananas go to waste every single year.
Really?
And that's just because even sometimes there are too many on a bunch. So if you go into your local supermarket and you see them on the shelves, they're usually in 6s. If there are more than that, or sometimes 8, if there are more than that, or if there are less than that, they're sent to waste because they're not shipped from Ecuador to the UK or other countries. So those go to waste, and we buy them because they're perfectly delicious and perfectly perfect. Or as we like to say, like, they're perfectly imperfect, just as nature intended. So we buy those. We manufacture at source on the coastal regions of Ecuador, where we get the bananas, dip them in chocolate, and then we bring them over to the UK. We did a lot of consumer testing to make sure that we had the right product for consumers. So our milk chocolate has won a Great Taste Award as well. Our products are also HFSS compliant. So for those of you that don't know, that means high fat, salt and sugar compliant, which is good. And it makes it a lot harder. It made it a lot harder to develop the products to be HFSS. It means that we do comply with new government regulations coming in. We've got 3 sticks, which is great. And as mentioned, we started selling in January, and the product's doing really well.
And so just to pick up on that thing about the food waste, it really interests me. Do you follow Adam Smith's stuff? He's got the...
No. Sounds like I should do that.
Yeah, so Adam's, he's a Leeds lad from near us, and he's got... let me just look him up on LinkedIn a minute, because I've forgotten the name of his organisation, but his stuff's amazing on food waste. It's called...
I mean, it is crazy how much food is wasted.
And he basically he's got this site in Leeds, and you can go and get like a whole basket of surplus to purpose. That's it. It's been through a few different names.
Oh, amazing! Yeah.
And a lot of it's from like QSR or like short dated stock, but you can go to his site in Leeds and pick up like a whole basket for a tenner and just kind of go and fill it with stuff for your family. So we've done it a few times. We've got quite a few kids, me and Mrs. And it's great, and it's good. It's really good stuff as well. But he's always sort of shouting out on LinkedIn saying, look, it's just the tip of the iceberg. This is just what kind of waste at the kind of far end of the cycle, but then you've got waste at every stage. So I think it's a real hot topic at the moment.
We're obviously impacting waste right at source. Yeah. But then obviously there are so many bananas which are wasted on the journey to the UK as well. We're lucky as in the sense that we freeze our bananas. So we freeze them at perfect point of ripeness as well. Again, which helps us cut down on the amount of food waste and extends the shelf life of the product.
That's great. Yeah. So actually the product itself helps with food waste just because it's kind of, it's got, I guess, low wastage dynamics compared to, say, a chilled product or something that's, and then we also, we work with local suppliers out in Ecuador as well to upcycle our peels as well. So that we're trying to close that gap as well to make sure things are recycled. Well, so you obviously launched, recently. It's a new business. Tell us about like the first, 12 weeks, 6 months. What was it like? What were your first few plays? How did you get it going off the ground?
Yeah, so we launched in January 2023, which for a product which is kind of frozen and has seasonal peaks, but is definitely eaten all year round. January probably wasn't the best month to have launched. Yeah. But we did a trade show, IFE, which is actually on this week, I think, last year, and it was crazy in March. We handed out over 8,000 bananas across 3 days, and everybody was walking
That's
around the
quite
trade
big.
show trying the product. It was really amazing. And at Coke, we always talked about how to create talkability, and we definitely created talkability. We were the talk of the show. And it was really exciting to see everybody like queuing for our bananas, asking, what is this product? Where is it? Is it ice cream? We learned pretty quickly that consumers were pretty confused by it, but once they tried it, they loved it. So that was really exciting. Our first customers were wholesalers, so we launched into across lots of different health food stores across the UK. We're now in the likes of Whole Foods and Planet Organic, which we secured around May last year, and the product's done really well and flying off the shelves there, which is great. For us, it's really about establishing the brand. We've definitely been establishing it in that health food environment, and then also in Dubai as well last year.
Okay, yeah.
Which is really exciting.
Just picking up on the brand then. So the name itself, Pupkip. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
What does it stand for? Where's it come from?
Of course. So we had a bit of a minefield of names and going round and round in circles, but we wanted a name that would allow us to really compile everything that the brand stood for. So Pukka is good, happy and real, and Pip is in pips and seeds, where all fruit comes from.
Yeah.
So Pupkip, yeah, it's standing us in good stead, and it also means that we'll be able to move out of frozen if we ever want to at some point in the future, move out of fruit if we ever want to in the future too. And it doesn't just stick us within bananas or just frozen fruit.
Cool. No,
so allows us for future expansion potentially.
It's got sort of like inherent scalability in the brand, which is exciting.
Exactly.
What about your expansion plans? I mean, obviously, like, super cool to land with, Planet Organic, Whole Foods straight away. Like, where do you see the brand going next in 2024? So we're heading into hot season as well, aren't we? So hopefully people will be queuing up for bananas again.
So we're in talks with lots of the retailers at the moment, which is exciting. We're actually launching into one of the bigger retailers in a couple of weeks, which is really good news.
Great.
I don't actually know when this podcast will air, so I don't know whether to say it or not.
Okay, it'll probably be like June, I think, or July, depending on what we've got to
everyone. So we're launching into Ocado in April.
Amazing.
Which is really exciting, and we're really looking forward to being able to take the product much further, so that consumers can try it and really get it out there. We'll be doing lots of sampling over the summer, because we know, as mentioned, when consumers try it, they love it.
Yeah.
We are continuing to push the brand out in Dubai. So we're with some big retailers, Spinneys, Waitrose and Gibsons out in Dubai. And we'll also look to expand potentially into Europe as well at some point in the future.
That's great.
But yeah, for us, it's really about pushing the brand at the moment, getting it to as many consumers to try the product as possible.
Yeah. Whenever you chat to people from drinks background in marketing and alcohol, they always talk about liquid on lips. It's all about liquid on lips. Get the product and get it into people's hands, get the bottle in people's hands. I can imagine it's the same with bananas on lips, you know?
Exactly.
Feel the love.
When we did a sampling week at Whole Foods, we sampled 17,000 in a week, and we had queues. Yeah, and we had queues out the door. It was crazy. It was mental.
How have you managed that? Have you got agencies involved, or have you just done it all yourself with friends and family?
No, so we did it with a few. We didn't use agencies, but unfortunately, we don't have the budgets for agencies. So we just found some freelancers and key members of the team who were able to help us across it. Yeah, and we created some really good relationships with those who helped us across it, and they'll continue to help us across the sampling campaigns too. So yeah, hopefully we'll be doing lots more of that over the summer. I have to say, for anyone's in frozen, and will know how painful sampling is in frozen, because it's not just, it's all the logistical part of it that makes it an actual nightmare. But we got there.
That's super cool. It's a real window into the buzz and the hustle of getting something going. So like I say, especially in frozen, because if you can nail it, brilliant. But like, it's just that extra challenge, isn't it, of going from something ambient, something frozen or chilled, getting it into people's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you?
And the amount of times, we're not perfect. The amount of times that we've sent samples, for example, to influencers and people like that, and they arrive melted. It's it's a nightmare. But
so what,
when it works, it's good.
What gave you the idea to I mean, as soon as you said it makes sense, yeah, obviously hot countries, they're going to love the products, but I love the fact you've just gone straight into getting it out to Dubai. It's like, well, we'll do malts at some point. We're going to get land Ocado, but bang, let's go to Dubai, get it in spinnies. What led to that idea? Because it's really interesting.
Yeah, we were actually lucky enough that they came to us.
Really?
And they
Amazing.
came to the IFB trade show. So yeah, we jumped on the opportunity. I think for us, UK is definitely where we're trying to prove the concept.
Yeah.
But as you say, while we don't see ourselves as a seasonal product, there is definitely peaks within the summer months. And Dubai has hot weather a lot of the year round, and they also love healthier treats and things like that. So it's a kind of perfect product for out there too.
That's great. That's great. On the expansion plans, I mean, it's notoriously hard to crack, isn't it? Like food service and out of home for sort of education. But have you got any plans to kind of get them into schools? I'm just thinking for like younger consumers. I mean, you'd love it, wouldn't you, if your kids went to like an out of hours, out of school club in the summer, and that's the snack instead of a bag of crisps. I mean, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Holy grail.
So I have to say, we've learned a lot over the last year, and we do have single products. But what we have learned, we really need to drive that awareness and build that routine in the home channel so that when consumers are out and about, then actually they want to pick up the product. So for us, I think the out of home channel is something that's definitely going to come later. But we're really focusing on the home channel at the moment.
I suppose as well, when you're at this stage of a startup, you've got to be really clear, haven't you, about what the next tactical step is to grow your brand, and you've got to absolutely sort of back yourself to execute really, really well in one area, haven't you? Otherwise, you go too thin, don't you?
Exactly, and not only that, I think actually that we're a small team, so there are 3 of us,
Okay.
and we really need to focus on building that home channel brand. We don't have the capacity to basically build both, and we spread ourselves too thinly, and we learned that pretty quickly. So yes, we could definitely make out of home work, and we know consumers, if we did the right advertising, things like that, we could drive the brand. But where we've learned is that actually we need to focus on the home channel. So that's our priority at the moment.
That makes sense. That's really interesting. When you're discussing the product with retailers and looking to activate there, do you find that there's a lot of support for the concept because it's so healthy and so fun, or have you got to do a bit of a sell and win them over? Like, what's it like? Just kind of, because it's one thing, isn't it, getting into a retailer, it's the other thing activating it there, isn't it, and actually getting people to buy it through them.
I think retailers at the moment, they're risk averse, and let's be honest, most people haven't heard of a chocolate dipped frozen banana. So they want us to prove the concept, and to prove it and show that consumers want it. So for us, we definitely prove it in the health food stores, and that's one tick down. Now our next step is to prove it in Ocado. We know that it's going to fly, and then take it to other retailers and take those stories out there.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's cool. So am I right in thinking you've got some exciting new products as well? You've got some...
We do, yes. So we're launching a range of banana bites. So real banana bites, dipped in 3 coatings. So we've got a milk chocolate, a dark chocolate again, which is vegan, and a peanut butter, which will also be vegan as well.
I am excited about the peanut butter one, I've got to say.
Everyone I'm so excited. Yeah, everyone loves peanut butter and banana go perfectly. So yeah, we will be launching those shortly.
Great.
Which is exciting.
And so that's, if I can just dip into that as well. So that's also like another thing that comes up quite a lot on podcasts is that kind of question on, do we just stick with a super skinny like core range and just like say awareness on that, or do we broaden it slightly to broaden the appeal? What was the kind of rationale behind thinking, okay, we're going to broaden the range slightly? I'm really interested in the thought process there.
So we did a lot of consumer research, and we also know that bite size is massively growing, especially in frozen, and consumers are looking for those bite-sized treats, and consumers wanted the product. So we decided, yes, let's stick with sticks and let's grow those sticks, but let's again focus on the home channel, as we said before, not focus on our singles anymore, and actually focus on NPD, so that we've got both those sticks range and also the bites range. And in terms of flavors, again, we did a lot of research, and our milk chocolate one is an award-winning one, so we knew that would do well. Our dark chocolate is vegan, which is opening up more of those even healthier consumers. And then the peanut butter was something new and exciting. So yeah, we're really excited about bringing them to the UK.
That's great. Do you have a favourite, or you're not allowed one? Is it like choosing a favourite in your kids?
To be honest, I like them all at different occasions. I mean, milk chocolate, I'm a much more of a milk chocolate person.
Okay.
But peanut butter for me is also an amazing one. And it's probably my favourite too.
Yeah. I think if it was, if I think I brought it back home for the family, I reckon I'd be preferring the peanut butter. I reckon the missus and the kids would be liking the milk chocolate. So something for everyone,
Yeah,
which is great.
yeah, exactly.
So just I just want to kind of like spin it back on you on like a personal angle. Like what's a day in the life as an MD in a startup? Like, just give us a bit of an insight into that, Zara, because people are really interested to understand what do your days actually look like.
I have to say my days vary, and I mean I feel really bad because I cancelled this podcast about twice already, so I apologise, just because, as anyone else that knows, running a startup, your days are mental. You run around like a headless chicken trying to figure out what to do. But being the MD, I focus, my area of expertise, as mentioned, is more marketing. So mine's very much been like the strategy of the business and the new product of the business, the marketing of the business. Those are my three core areas that I focus on. Maya, our head of sales, works on sales. I help her out a little bit, and then Lucia helps out on marketing and sales. So we kind of divvy it all up. But I mean, a typical day is everything from, I mean, today is I'm recording the podcast with you and then briefing some marketing stuff from point of sale, which we've got coming up with some customers. I've got a finance meeting later, and then I've got a strategy meeting as well. So it's very much ranges totally across the day. Oh, and I'm also trying some samples which are arriving later today.
Nice,
hopefully
very
frozen. So yeah, it's a total whirlwind of a week, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
What's your de-stress? What's your way to de-stress? What do you do when you're not thinking about bananas?
I love exercising.
Cool.
So I very much like HIIT training, yoga, swimming, and if it's not that, going out for drinks with friends.
Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be managing the madness rather than managing the boredom is going to be the main challenge for you in your job.
Yeah, very much so. But anyone who's in FMCG, I know, will experience exactly the same.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, just on that point, like, what advice would you have for somebody that's wanting to move into a startup? Like, what qualities and attributes would you look for someone in your team, or do you think just innately makes somebody ready and able to add value in the type of environment that you're in at the moment, where you've got to spin a lot of plates?
Yeah, you have to be resilient. You definitely have to, and I'd say don't give up. So, as mentioned, I contacted 225 manufacturers. Most people said to me, just give up, it clearly can't work. And I was like, no, there's got to be a way. We'll figure it out. So yeah, I never give up and don't take no for an answer. Be curious. When I was younger in roles, I never asked questions because I didn't want to sound stupid. But actually, if you don't ask questions, you don't understand. And there's still a lot of things that I don't understand and that I'm trying to figure out. And I often do things wrong. So keep learning and be curious. And be creative, I think, would be the other one. There's always ways to do things. There's always ways to figure things out. And when you're a small startup with little budgets, just try and be creative. And goes back to that whole like imposter syndrome and things. I definitely have that, but you just have to figure a way and push yourself out of your comfort zone and muddle through.
Great, nice.
But it's fun.
Good advice. Have you got a favourite brand or startup that you look to for inspiration? And if not, where do you look for inspiration when you just need to, find that angle on something?
I mean, there are so many brands who are smashing it at the moment. I wouldn't want to call out a few like individually, but I think we definitely look to the frozen category for inspiration to understand that. We definitely look to the snacking category because those are the ones that we're competing with. For me, it's all those brands that are making a lot of noise. I mean, Perfect Head for me is smashing it in every single way. And I know everybody would say that, but they make so much noise and they have so much fun while doing it, which I think is a real inspiration for anyone.
That's cool.
In terms of like resources and things like that, I'm a sucker for all those podcasts of How I Built This, Diary of a CEO, all of those ones. The Grocer, everybody reads that. LinkedIn is your best friend. Continue learning and trailing through that. For me, I think it's about networking as well. So going and finding different events that you can attend to. Being a female, there's loads of female-founded networking events and things like that. There's Bread and Jam, which most people would have heard of. I also read a lot of books when I started. So Tessa Stewart wrote quite a few books on how to get into retailers because sales was never my background. I learned a lot from those. Karen Green, I think, biology, another one. So yeah, and I guess for me as well, just asking people for advice and reaching out. I've actually found since I started this role, there's been quite a few people who've reached out and just been like, can I ask you for advice? And I always give people some time for advice, because I think if you give, you get back what you give, right? And yeah, everybody in the industry is really, really friendly and really kind. So I think we're all in it together, which is nice, very different to any big brand.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the kind of UK startup space for FMCG is friendly. But that's some amazing advice. And thank you for sharing all your insights there, Zara. I know anyone listening or watching would appreciate it. Anything else, just kind of final parting words you want to share, or do you reckon that's it from insights?
It's one thing that's always stuck with me, and we used to say it at Coke every time that something went wrong, or we didn't know what we were doing, or someone got stressed or something. But we're not saving lives. We're just in food, and as I keep reminding my team, we're just selling bananas on sticks. So I think it's making sure that sometimes you put it into perspective, because I know it gets really stressful, and I know it can get really hard sometimes and down, but make sure that you have fun while doing it.
Great advice. Thank you. Well, look, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute blast. Really enjoyed hearing your story and hearing all about Pupkip. And most importantly, if you are listening, please reach out to Zara and thank her for her time and sharing her story and insights. I know I'm doing it on the show, doing it to invest in careers. And also, more importantly, go and try the products. Get them into your hands.
Yes,
and let Zara know what you make of the Pupkip bananas.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Same.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Cheers then. All the best. See you soon.
Bye-bye.